Imagine you land a job at Google, one of the most powerful tech companies on the planet. You've got access to some of the most advanced AI infrastructure ever built. Custom chips, supercomputers, billions of dollars of R&D sitting right there on the company network. And your plan, your big genius career-defining plan, is to copy 14,000 pages of it onto your personal Google Cloud. Your personal Google Cloud account. The one that Google runs. This is a story of Linwei Ding, former Google software engineer, convicted economic spy. And I say this with full journalistic respect. Possibly the least subtle person to ever attempt corporate espionage in the history of corporate espionage. Linwei Ding also went by Leon, joined Google in 2019. He was a software engineer working on something genuinely impressive. The supercomputing infrastructure Google uses to train and deploy its AI models. We're talking custom tensor processing units, or TPUs for short, GPU systems, chip communication software, the actual backbone of how Google builds AI at scale. This is not entry-level stuff. This is the crown jewels. And between May 2022 and April 2023, according to the Department of Justice, Ding started copying it. Over 1,000 unique files, more than 14,000 pages of proprietary material, transferred to his personal Google Cloud account, then downloaded to his personal laptop. Now here's where I need to pause and just appreciate the audacity. He didn't just take a few documents. He didn't grab a couple of files and call it a day. The man took the equivalent of a small library. 14,000 pages. That's not just stealing trade secrets. That's moving out. But wait, it gets better. While Linwei Ding was sitting at his Google desk collecting his Google salary using his Google Access, he was also, allegedly, running 2 separate companies in China. 2 companies. According to prosecutors, he was serving as a chief technology officer at one China-based tech firm and had founded another one, Shanghai Zishuan Technologies Co., where he was the CEO. So to recap, full-time Google engineer, part-time CTO, also CEO, founder, and apparently a full-time document downloader. The man had a portfolio, and when he pitched investors for his Chinese companies, prosecutors say he told them he could replicate Google's AI supercomputer. You know, just straight copy it, rebuild it, because he had the files. I want you to sit with that investor pitch for a second. You're sitting in that room, and Linwei is there standing in front of you, and he says to you, "Hey, I can build you a Google-level AI supercomputer." And the first question you ask is, how? And his response would be, "I have the files." Then your follow-up question would be, but where did you get the files? And he would be like, Google? Then nobody in that room apparently thought to ask any more follow-up questions. Oh, and he also reportedly applied to a Beijing-sponsored talent recruitment program. According to prosecutors, he stated his plans to build China's computing infrastructure up to international levels. So he wasn't even hiding the goal. He just thought nobody would connect the dots between, I want to build China's AI infrastructure, and I have been downloading Google's AI infrastructure for the past year. Spoiler alert, the dots were connected. In December 2023, shortly before he resigned from Google, Ding made his final downloads. Then he traveled to China. The FBI executed a search warrant at his home in March 2024. He was arrested, and in January 2026, after a very short 11-day trial in San Francisco federal court, a jury found him guilty on all 14 counts. 7 counts of economic espionage, 7 counts of theft of trade secrets. His defense, to their credit, tried, if you want to call it that. They argued that Google hadn't adequately protected the information, that thousands of employees had access to it. So how secret could it really be? That's just a fascinating legal argument. It's essentially, Your Honor, the vault was unlocked and therefore my client was just browsing. Let's just say the jury was not convinced. Now look, I've been having a bit of fun with this because the sheer brazenness of it is genuinely hard to process. But let's be real for a second. This is the first ever conviction for AI-related economic espionage in US history. The DOJ said that explicitly. It's the first one. Now that's not a small thing. We are in the middle of a global AI arms race. The gap between who has the best AI infrastructure and who doesn't, that gap has real consequences. For national security, for economic power, for who gets to set the rules of how this technology develops. Google's TPU chips, its supercomputer architecture, its training infrastructure, that's not just a product. That's years of research, billions of dollars, and a genuine competitive edge in one of the most consequential technology races in human history. And someone was copying it to their personal laptop. The maximum sentence Ding faces is, and I want to be clear, this is theoretical maximum, actual sentences are typically much lower. But on paper, we're talking up to 10 years per theft count, 15 years per espionage count, across 14 total counts. If you do the math, it's a big number. Sentencing is still pending as of when I'm making this video, so if anything does develop, I might make another video and drop some more updates in the future. Here's what I keep coming back to. This wasn't some sophisticated invisible operation. This wasn't a ghost. This was a guy with a Google account, a personal laptop, and apparently the confidence of someone who has never once been caught doing anything wrong in his entire life. And the fact that this is the first AI espionage conviction, not the first attempt, the first conviction, should probably make us ask, how many times has this worked before anyone noticed? Because the scary version of this story isn't the one that ended in San Francisco courtroom. The scary version is the one that didn't. So, I want to know what you think. Is this a one-off? Or is this the tip of the iceberg? Are companies like Google doing enough to protect their AI infrastructure from insider threats? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious where people land on this one. Thank you very much, as always, for tuning in. Be safe, take care, and as always, be kind to each other.